We hear a lot about $3,000 gold, $65 silver, but could moves by the BRICS countries basically a new gold standard, or is it more of a new gold settlement currency? We need to examine what's going on with the BRICS and how it's impacting the gold price and the silver price. We're going to do that in this video. First, we're going to look at 8 big signs that it is happening. What are the crumbs? Andy Schectman likes to talk about. They leave little crumbs laying around. We have to pick them up and do our best to figure out what's really going on because, look, these big central banks, we know one thing for sure. They're not exactly transparent and completely honest with us. But when we look at the evidence of what's going on, what can we discern regarding the reemergence? Okay, that's what we're really talking about, the reemergence of gold and silver within the world economy, right? Gold and silver, the universal store of value, the timeless store of value. So we're going to look at 8 pieces of evidence. Then we're going to get up to speed with what we've recently been hearing out of the BRICS countries regarding how they are going to implement this new trading system, this new currency system. Are we going to get a BRICS currency that's backed by gold, or will we get something else? But how will it all impact the value of silver and gold as we head into the future? Because guys, this trend, I think you probably agree with me. This trend that is occurring is happening. It's going on. It's a big, big deal, and it will have a major impact, not just on the world financial and monetary system, but a massive impact on the price of silver and the price of gold. And you deserve higher prices, higher value for that gold and silver that you got. Again, this is all about gold and silver regaining their luster, reclaiming their position in the world that they've always had as the main source of value, the main source of the universal store of value. It's a big deal, and we're going to talk about it. So let's get started talking about these 8 signs. And by the way, thank you for being here. Please give this a thumbs up. That helps us get the word out to more people. I will ring the bell when we get to 100 thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll put out a new piece of content every day, something about silver and gold. Hopefully, what we like to hear are good news stories about silver and gold. And I got a feeling we got a lot of those coming. But what is this evidence that we have right now that the BRICS are indeed changing their financial system and that gold and silver are becoming more prominent within the world financial? We're talking about $3,000 gold. We're talking about $65 silver. But the first obvious, the big one, you've heard it a zillion times, the world central banks are buying gold at a pace like they never have in history. Mic drop. What does that tell us, right? These are the world's most sophisticated financial institutions. These are the insiders. Listen to what they're doing. Watch what they're doing. Don't listen to what they're saying, although they're saying things about gold and silver as well. The fact that they are buying gold like no other time in history, boom, number 1. We've talked about that ad nauseum. Number 2, more and more transactions throughout the world are occurring outside of the U.S. dollar. For the last 45, 50 years, the U.S. dollar enjoyed this position of being the world reserve currency, the world trade currency. While still a vast majority of the world's financial transactions are conducted in dollars, we're seeing a growing number of countries ditch the dollar, right? The BRICS countries. We're hearing about Iran. We're hearing about Saudi Arabia selling oil for Chinese yuan and then immediately converting that into gold. All over the world, there's a growing trend away from using the dollar and using native currencies, and in some ways backed by gold. And we're going to talk more about that later because it gets super interesting. The ideas that the leaders in the BRICS countries are hinting at and putting forward and how gold and silver could fit into this new framework. Number 3, okay, we're getting explicit statements from world leaders. Vladimir Putin, okay, the king of Saudi Arabia, President Xi in China, the president of Brazil, everywhere, explicit statements that they want to move away from the dollar. And what are they going to move to, guys? Who are they going to call? Does it start with G? The letter G? Does it start with the letter S? I think it does. Okay, if you want to get your hands on some G or S, that would be gold or silver. Right now, if you're shopping around, if you're thinking of buying silver or gold online, do yourself a favor. Please check out our channel sponsor, Pimbex. They make live streams, videos like this possible. They have gold, they have silver, they have the best prices, they have the best service, and they have a reputation you can trust. I work with Pimbex. I did before. All of this content would not be free. I just got a note from YouTube that the live stream ticked. Hopefully you guys can still see me and hear me. Let me check with Susie. Susie, are we still live?
Yes, you are. It just kind of stopped for 1 sec.
Roger that. Thanks, Susie. That's, by the way, is Silver Susie. She is the boss of the house. I think she goes by Susie's house in the chat. So everybody say hi to Susie. And thanks to all the moderators for being here. Back to the evidence about the BRICS. I kind of got off track there. Number 4. They're talking statements about a commodity-based currency, a publicly traded commodity-based publicly traded commodities to base the currency. We're going to dig into more about that a little bit later. These are growing countries. Here, this is crazy. I got one chart to show you today, okay? This is the share of the global, with the BRICS and the new countries. 29% of the world's GDP, that's the top, is now controlled by the BRICS countries. The next one down, population, 46%. That's the next line down. 46, we're talking 46. Hi, everybody. 46% of the world population. Oil production, 43%. 43%, and world exports overall 25%. That's what the BRICS countries, that's right now. These are the countries that are moving away from the dollar. These are the countries that have a much different attitude towards silver and gold. It is changing, guys. It's changing right now. And again, we got a lot. I've got some really crazy ideas about what is going on right now based on what the leaders, the financial, the political leaders from these countries are saying, okay? Their economies are growing quickly, right? There's 1.4 billion people in India. We're just going to talk INC in the BRICS, India and China. 1.4 billion people in India, 1.4 billion people in China. And Chinese and Indian people love silver and gold, right? Bald Guy Money brought this up the other day, talking about China. If I have this correctly, right? If you're a Chinese person right now, are you going to put your money in the stock market? Down 30%. Are you going to put your money into real estate? Down 30%. Are you going to put your money in the bank? No, they don't trust the banks. Where are they putting their money? Gold and silver. India, same thing. India has like this wildly expanding middle class. They're going to have more people demographically moving into the middle class in the next 10 years than any other place in the world. We're talking hundreds of millions of people. In Indian people, that you can't even put into words their feelings towards precious metals. It's absolutely crazy. I need to move on. This is getting long-winded. I apologize. Gold is always the common thread. That's hint number 6. Gold is always the common thread. Number 7, Russia is heading the BRICS in 2024. They have like 200 meetings scheduled in the coming 4 months. Big changes are heading our way. The Russians have been very vocal about their distaste for the U.S. dollar and the U.S. dollar hegemony. They've talked about the importance of gold and silver, real money, right? Real money, the universal money, God's money. All right, number 8, the BRICS prefer, this is just a great statement, the BRICS countries prefer the gold standard to the dollar standard, right? They're moving away from the dollar. So can we see a revaluation? You got it, man. Absolutely, we can see it. So we talked about the crumbs that we can pick up. Now let's talk about what we know is going on. Okay, let's talk about what we know like right now is going on and how the BRICS could be moving towards a more gold-backed, silver-backed system that will completely change the world precious metals markets. As we do this, I want you to remember, I want you just to bear in mind the Bretton Woods, the last time the world had a gold standard, right? That was in the United States. That lasted till 1971. Under the Bretton Woods Agreement, which was like 1944, the US dollar was backed by gold. And all the other major world currencies, mostly in Europe, they were tied to the US dollar. So everybody was on a gold standard. And the way it worked was if a country had a surplus, if France or Germany or the Dutch, produced more goods and sold more goods than they imported and they had a surplus, they could redeem that money. I think it was called the gold window at the Fed. They could get their gold back, okay, if there was an imbalance. Very important. I want you to keep that in mind, that context, as we talk about what the BRICS are talking about doing now, okay? They will have an alternative payment system, but they will balance their accounts with each other probably monthly, maybe quarterly, okay? This is the latest news that we have out of the BRICS, okay? Russian political and financial leaders in particular have been very, very vocal about this change, okay? A new global settlement currency, all right, to balance amongst one another and settle imbalances. A unit of measure agreed upon on an international basis, but not a currency. We're not talking about a BRICS currency that all the people in those countries will walk around and buy food with or whatever. This is more an international balance settlement currency between these big countries. But the question is, what will it be tied to? Is it going to be backed by silver and gold? And it gets very interesting. The unipolar dollar hegemony is no longer, they're telling us, no longer necessary or wanted. They're already trading amongst themselves within their native currencies. The BRICS are moving away from the dollar. Russian leaders are saying that the software, the systems have already been created to facilitate all this, okay? Now they need to agree amongst themselves about the implementation and what this is the key. What will the settlement medium be between these countries, right? If Russia sells $100 million more of products to Saudi Arabia than they import, right? And they have a surplus. How are they going to settle it? How will this settlement currency, this settlement medium be backed? And most people, and the hints that we're getting are towards silver and gold, okay? The first basket in this settlement currency will be the currencies of the member nations, right? They're trading amongst themselves. They'll trade in their native currencies. But if one country has a surplus, right? If the Russians wind up with a surplus of Chinese yuan, and they don't want the Chinese yuan, the Chinese owe them $50 million at the end of the month or the end of the quarter, however they decide to do it. They don't want those yuan. So the second basket is a basket of, they say this, quote, exchange-traded commodities. What are exchange-traded commodities? Things like wheat, right? Oil, orange juice, silver, gold. This is where it gets very interesting. All those other commodities get very complicated, right? They have expiration dates. Wheat doesn't last forever. Oil doesn't last forever. The only thing, and this is why, throughout history, we've always gone back to the main medium of exchange are gold and silver, okay? They are timeless, they are universal, and they're the ultimate settlement medium because you can take gold, you can take silver, right? Here's Susie's 3-ounce silver heart, anywhere in the world, and it has value, right? It's valuable. You know, you can't do that with I mean, I imagine even with a lot of my neighbors, I could go with that silver right now and trade them for something if I explained to them the value. If I went with a gallon of milk, they'll be like, well, we don't need a gallon of milk. We already have that. Or if I had a barrel of oil, right, or a bushel of wheat, are they going to want? No, not necessarily. But I bet I could talk most of my neighbors into trading something of value with me for this, right? Or if it was a gold coin, even more so. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. I'll be right back. And I understand this can get a little complicated. Remember what we're talking about here, guys, is the reemergence, the sleeping bear, right? Gold and silver have been in hibernation for the last 50 years. The reemergence of silver and gold, the reclamation, right? The re-recognition of silver and gold for what they have always been, right? The universal, timeless store of value. Again, all this talk, I think we can throw cold water, and even I was guilty of it, all this talk over the last summer of a common BRICS currency.
100 likes reached.
Oh, I got to ring the bell. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, guys. As a sign of our love, 100 thumbs up. You get 10 rings of the bell. Thank you. We get 10 rings of the bell. But this idea of a BRICS currency that the people in Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates, that's all 10 of the BRICS. There's 30 more countries that want to join, right? But the idea that right now those 10 countries, that those people would all be walking around with this new currency and it would be backed by gold, that's not probably right now. The consensus is that's not going to happen. But just as important, and if you think back to the Bretton Woods system that we had, they're talking about a system amongst the governments, on the second level, where they settle trade imbalances with each other with a settlement medium that will very most likely, as they say, be backed by a commodity, an exchange traded commodity. And anyone who looks at it says what that really boils down to are silver and gold. What do you think that's going to do for the price of silver and gold? And we're getting more rumblings about this idea that the oil price in particular, oil is the king of everything. And remember, look here, right now, 43% of the world's oil is produced by the BRICS countries. Think about that. 43%, 4.5 out of every 10 barrels of oil is produced by the BRICS countries. They're talking about repricing oil. Right now, a barrel of oil costs about 1 gram of gold. They're talking about 1 gram of gold being able to buy 2 barrels of oil. That would double the price of gold overnight. If that's announced at some point, I'm not saying that I think it's imminent or anything else, but there's more and more rumblings about that. If we reprice oil to 2 barrels of oil for 1 gram of gold, that will double the price of gold. Because why, you may ask? Because oil is the dominant commodity in the world. The oil market is multiples bigger than any other market, but especially even the gold market. So oil wins. Right? It's like, if I remember correctly, it's like 10 times bigger. So remember that. They don't want to sacrifice these countries. This is interesting. They're saying this. They don't want to sacrifice their own currency. However, they don't want the dollar standard. They want something that they know can be backed by something real. And again, likely what they're talking about, according to the experts and according to what I see, is gold, is silver. I want to say thank you, speaking of gold and silver, to channel sponsor Fortuna Silver. They're a silver and gold mining company. They actually mine more gold now than they do silver. It's a bigger proportion of their revenue, of their income. They have 2 silver mines, one in Mexico, one in Peru, and they have 3 gold mines, one in Argentina, one in Burkina Faso, and one, their newest, the Seguela mine, in the Ivory Coast in West Africa, which is a prolific gold-producing region. You can learn more about them at fortunasilver.com. And of course, thank you to First Mining Gold for sponsoring Ron's Basement. These sponsors help me make this content free for you. So please support our sponsors. First Mining Gold is a development company, gold development company, with 2 5 million ounce projects in Canada, Springpole in Ontario, and Du Parquet in Quebec. They're moving these projects through the permitting process. And guys, the big mining companies have not been investing in their pipelines. There's going to be a day when they're going to need to buy up these projects that have been moved through the development stage process. And companies like First Mining Gold could find themselves in a very, very lucrative spot. Okay, investing in physical silver and gold, investing in mining stocks is risky. I am not a financial advisor. Okay, do your own due diligence. Any investments are risky. Okay, but do your own work and make your own decisions. These are companies that I work with and stocks that I personally own. So here's my question. This is the big aha moment. Doesn't this situation with the BRICS countries, right? This situation where they're going to trade amongst themselves in their currencies, but then any surpluses prospectively that they have amongst each other could be settled in this new settlement form, which is likely going to be based on gold. Doesn't that sound a lot like the Bretton Woods system to a certain degree that we had from 1944 through 1971 in the world, and that actually worked really well? Was a period where we had massive economic growth in the United States, even in Europe as they rebuilt from World War II, right? If the Germans in 1961, right, sold a lot more products to the world than they imported. They had leftover Deutschmarks, which were tied to the dollar, which they could then redeem for physical gold. Isn't that how the whole Bretton Woods gold standard system came unraveled in 1971? Because have you ever heard of Charles de Gaulle from France? He was sending ships over to the United States because they had surplus and they wanted their gold. And that's when Nixon, that was really what prompted Nixon to say, whoa, 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 whoa. We don't like this. You've already taken half of our gold. It's all over. To me, it sounds very similar. Yeah, sure, we'll trade amongst ourselves in our native currencies, but any imbalances, well, we want to get paid in gold, right? The Chinese are saying, we don't want to hold on to a bunch of rupee, right? No, we want to be able to take our surplus rupee and be able to convert that into something real, something that's held value for just a few thousand years, okay? And here's the interesting, what's it going to do to the price of silver and gold? Well, what do you think this could do to the price of silver and gold? Why do you think the COMEX registered inventory of gold, lost what, like 21% in the last, 21% of the gold in the last month, I think it was? Why do you think the COMEX registered inventory for silver is down near what is considered to be historic low levels? Why do you think? Same thing with the LBMA. What do you think this is going to do for demand for silver and gold, for the recognition of the value? Guys, think the BRICS situation is happening right now before our very eyes. It's undeniable. It's a force, right? Look, 46% of the world's population, 43% of the world's oil. Oil is the lifeblood of the world economy, right? 29% of the world GDP. This is happening. These BRICS countries, and they're growing, and they're growing organically, but they're also growing via acquisition, as we have 30 more countries that want to join the BRICS. Okay, so we know that's happening, but at the same time, this major force, this bifurcation, at the same time, we also know that they are moving towards more of a gold and silver backed system. What do you think that's going to do for the real value of your silver and gold? I think it's going to go up. You know what? I'm going to ask you to participate. And by the way, let's talk about free silver. You want to talk about free silver? Because you might just have another shot. In my endless efforts to do a giveaway, the most recent winner is not claimed, even though we went and told him on his comment the 25-ounce silver giveaway, right? There's 25 ounces there. They have until tomorrow at 10 a.m. to email us. If they don't, then on, I've got a busy schedule this week. So let's say Wednesday of this week, I'll draw another name, okay? Whoever, this person has 96 hours, that ends on Monday. If they don't claim it by Monday at 10 a.m., on Wednesday, I'll be drawing a new name. So you still might be in the running for the 25-ounce silver giveaway. Don't give up. Don't ever, ever give up. I'm going to have, I think it's going to go up. There I go, losing my train of thought. Up, up, up. There we go. It's interesting times in which we live. I want to ask, this is something about what our government in the United States is doing to you. Do you want to hear how you're getting ripped off? I know we got 34 trillion in debt. We've got all these issues in this country, but this is a very interesting idea of a pure example of why you want to hold physical silver and gold to protect your wealth. Okay, think about this. What a racket. I'll read you what I wrote because I wrote it out because it's so important. So the government can print and spend as much money as they want, right? We know that. The government can print, make money, press a button, right? They printed 40% of the US dollars that are in existence during the COVID C-19 crisis. Okay, they can print and spend as much as they want, diluting and devaluing the currency. Okay, but think about that. And that takes away the value of your dollars. If you have money in the bank, if you whatever. But it makes also the value of assets go up and up and up, right? Houses, the stock market, they just keep printing money. Liquidity makes things go up and up and up. This is the rackets. Number one, they get to print the money. Number two, the government gets to frivolously spend the money, okay? But this is where it gets crazy, okay? Everything goes up in price, including silver and gold, but the racket is, all right, they get to print it, they get to spend it. That makes asset inflation occur. Then, because of the capital gains tax, on top of it all, they get to take away like 30 or 40% of the gain that those assets have. It's really, somebody pointed this out to me recently. It's really on top of that. This is what happens when we don't have a currency that's tethered to things like silver and gold, right? There's no tether, there's no responsibility, but they can do whatever they want, print as much as they want, spend as much as they want, and then when your house doubles in value, if you go to sell it, or your stock doubles in value and you go to sell it, guess what? We're going to tax you on your gain. Think about that. It's kind of maddening, I think, to a certain degree, that's the system that we live in. So I guess, we talk about this all the time. Why do you buy silver and gold? How much silver, how much gold do you buy? And how do you look at it? If you buy your silver and your gold and you buy it as a generational investment, right? I told you the other day, I just ordered a package from Pembeck, showed up on my daughter's birthday. I was kind of felt guilty because I was like, oh, it's their birthday and I'm getting a package. But then I thought, no, I don't feel guilty because I'm not ever going to spend this. I hope I don't have to. It's there if I need it. I took it to our off-site storage location, right? It's there. It'll be there. Right? Hopefully we'll never need to spend it. So really I was giving them a gift. We need so if this is what we're coming back to how the government can print, devalue the value of the currency, asset prices go up. When you sell your asset, you got to pay capital gains tax on it. It's a big racket. But if you buy silver, if you buy gold as a generational wealth vehicle, okay, you don't have to worry about that. I know people, and look, here's the reality. I heard somebody very eloquently, this is going to make you mad, it makes me mad, eloquently stated this, that everything has gone up in price over the last 3 years, except silver. I sit down here for 2 years and talk about silver. I'm wrong, right? No, I'm not wrong. I know in the long run, every time I bought silver, when I look beyond a year, 2 years, and maybe in the next year, who knows, right? I'm going to talk about that in 1 second. Oh yeah, I got something great to talk about. I got great news. I forgot. I'm going to have to dig through, but I got great news. In the long run, your gold is going to at least maintain its purchasing power. I would make the argument with silver it's even going to do better because silver is not only a monetary metal, but it has a few industrial uses. Somebody, have you heard? Let's have some fun, right? And then we're going to talk about something crazy good about silver, what Tavi Costa said, that one of the 10 smartest people on planet Earth, besides you and besides me. And by the way, thank you for being here today. It's a big, big deal that you decided to join me in the basement. It really is. There's only one you, right? And we're a bunch of yous all together here in the basement. That's why they call it YouTube. But there's only one you. You're special, you're unique, you can contribute, and it's a big deal that you're here, okay? Look, a lot of friendships have been developed in this channel, in the chat room. We got some great, high-quality people. And like it or not, Buttercup, that includes you. So thank you for being here. Don't forget you can subscribe, it's free. And thumbs up. Oh yeah, and super chats are always super appreciated, but never, ever expected. Okay, everything's free here in the basement. Where was I? Silver. Oh yeah, let's have some fun. Hey, it's Sunday morning. Thank you for being here. You want a Bible verse? I printed this one out the other day. It was so powerful. Where'd I put it? Oh man, I stuck it on the top of the steps. If you want me to read that, I thought it was one of the most powerful Bible. And this is not a religious show. Everybody can believe whatever they want, right? God sends people from all the different religions here to the basement. But I did read this Bible verse. I was like, oh, here it is. I think I can read it. I'll read it later if you want me to. Let's talk about silver. And then I got this Tavi Costa thing that's going to blow your mind. Sunday morning mind blowing. It's early, right? You're going to need to recover for a little bit. But
you should read it, Rod.
I should read what?
The verse.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, here, all right, I'll read it. I printed it out. It's way back there, so bear with me. I'm going to go get it. Hold on. Guys, don't leave. I think I can read it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. In all ways, obey him. Then he will make your paths smooth and straight. Don't be wise. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Have respect for the Lord and avoid evil. I thought that was a good one, and so I printed it out. Next time I'll have it closer. Okay. Anyway, this is not a religious show. Everybody absolutely is entitled, in my opinion, in this world to have their own God, their own higher power, their own whatever. I just thought that was a very, very smart thing. Like, to realize we don't know everything. Trust me, it took me 54 years. I'm still realizing. The older I get, the dumber I realize I am. And that's how we learn. That's what I always say to you guys. It's okay to disagree with me. I fully have been married for 19 years. I've been beaten into a state of humility. And I've realized that my best opportunity to learn is not from up here. It's from listening to you, from listening to other people. That's how we can help each other. Now, can we please have some fun? Let's just do it. I'll start it out. What are the industrial uses of silver? Let's see how many we can come up with. We got, let me get the timer. We got 2 minutes. Okay, guys? This is the silver story. 2 minutes. I'll give you updates. All right? I say solar panels. Ricky's house of crap. Iron sharpens iron. Hey, Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. Come on, guys. What are the industrial uses? EV cars, electronics, solar. Medical and health. Thank you, Annie Oakley. Thank you. Yes. And that's a rapid, Rick Rule just brought up, that's a massively expanding area. Water filtration, medical devices. Thank you. Riot, defense. Yeah, the one that we don't really know how much silver is used. Andy Scheckman's talking about 500 ounces of silver per Tomahawk missile head. Military coins. Thank you, Jake. That's a good one. I forgot about that. Yes. Missiles, baby. Mirrors and plasters. Microbacterial. Yes. Industrial. Huge amounts. Mechanical, electrical. Weapons of war. Water purification. Colloidal silver. Yeah, I don't know a lot about that, but yes, very interesting. I mean, it's unbelievable what we've got. Come on, we can get a few more. Just listen to Keith Neumeyer, the silver guru. Yes, vampires. Yes, silver takes away vampires. Don't forget. Monster box, per Tomahawk. Yes. Thank you. Great. Cell phones. Yes. Shuttle skin to dispense heat. Interesting. Computers. Yeah. Right. The AI. They're all saying that this AI revolution. TVs. Yeah. Computer monitors. Werewolves. Old dirty bat. ODBG's in the house, everybody. Everybody say hi to ODBG. And Ricky's House of Crap. Two of my favorite usernames. Helping the algorithm. Stack often. Yes. Per watt of solar. 28 milligrams of silver per watt. Yeah, we drove satellites. Yes, thank you. Come on, guys. We got a little more time. The Lone Ranger bullets. Piece of silver in the sun for 1 hour and feel how hot it gets. Yep, a lot of people don't realize silver is the most thermally conductive, or one of the most thermal, and we're done. One of the most thermally conductive metals on the face of the earth, meaning, excuse me, not only does it conduct electricity, it's the scale by which electrical conductivity is measured, like silver is 100, I think copper is either at 95 or 85. But silver is also the most thermally conductive, meaning it conducts temperature, which is why if you take a silver bar outside on a warm day and then put an ice cube on it, you'll be amazed at how quickly it will melt. That little fun. Oh yeah, we were driving to the Great Wolf Lodge in Kansas City last Monday. We had a nice time. I was having some health issues, like I've shared with you guys, and still am, but nonetheless, it was a nice time. We were driving down Highway 70 across Missouri, and we were driving, and all of a sudden, on the right-hand side was this massive solar panel farm. And I said to Susie, I said, who said there's not silver in Missouri? I mean, just thousands of solar panels. Not once, but twice we saw that on the way there. And I thought, there's our old friend Silver sitting out there. Each one of those panels, you know, I imagine, I don't know how much, they were big panels like the size of, I don't know, refrigerators or something, I guess you would say. Very big, but out there in the middle, right off Highway 70, around Columbia, Missouri. And I think it was Ameren UE that had a big sign up like, oh, we're green energy producer, blah, blah, blah. They got a nuclear plant somewhere along there as well, too. I think Callaway County. But nonetheless, silver is everywhere and everything. Okay, give me 1 second. Bear with me. Susie doesn't like when I say that. Hey, let's get to 200 thumbs up, guys. Then I can ring the cowbell. Jake, you know what? Thank you, guys. Thank you to all the moderators for being here. Susie from Susie's house. Jake is here. I saw Annie Oakley. I saw Sassy Silver as well. I don't know if Craig's up. He's out on the West Coast. But please, do me a favor. While I pull up something I need to get, type 8 in the chat. 8 is great for those that moderate, and the moderators are great. Thank you. Hold on. I got to find something. I'm moving as fast as I can. Oh, there's another good one. Okay. Here it is. Whew. I guess maybe God helped me because I read that Bible verse, right? Okay. So Tavi Costa. Do you know who Tavi Costa is? He's the smartest guy in the universe. One of the top 10. Very smart, young guy. You listen to him sometime, okay? And he's not a gold and silver bug, but he has become very interested in silver and gold because he knows of the unbelievable value opportunity there right now. This is not his chart. He had a different one, but he brought to everyone's attention 2 days in a row. Yesterday it was gold, but he was talking last night about $100 silver. $100 silver, and how and why. We know, right? Didn't we just do a list of all the industrial uses of silver? I think we did, right? We know there's like this is just extra bonus fluff on top of everything else. Extra bonus fluff, right? Just the fact that the world's demanding all this extra silver. And for the last 3 years, they've been able to plug the gap by sucking it out of the COMEX and the LBMA inventories, right? Yeah. And the SLV ETF, 500 million ounces over the last, 3-4 years, right? They've been, we're not making enough silver, so we're going to steal it from the above ground inventories. Well, that day's about over. That's just fluff. That's just fluff. Okay. We know on the supply side, it's going down, 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 down because thanks to the COMEX and the LBMA artificially suppressing the price of silver, there's no money going into the silver sector. There's no money going into exploring for silver. You got companies like Summa Silver, BlackRock Silver, both of which I own, Dolly Varden Silver. There's a handful. But these companies cannot raise money because the market it's so depressed, right? So there's no money going into exploring. Look at Fortuna. They pivoted a few years back because of how difficult it is to make money in silver, right? They pivoted to producing more gold. There's just not money going into silver. If silver was what it should be right now, $50, $60 per ounce, you're darn tootin'. There'd be a lot of money. All you would hear about, right? Silver Mountain, another company I own. You'd hear all kinds of people talking about, oh my God, these stocks are, and I think it's going to happen. I'm sorry. It's got to happen. And then we're going to get to what Tavi Costa had to say, but it's going to happen. Okay, so you've got demand right here. Okay, my eyebrow, my bushy eyebrow. Susie used to get really mad. I used to have a unibrow, but I think I got it gone. So right here at my unibrow, there's demand. Supply, you want me to keep my mouth shut? Is down here, okay? So demand is up here. Demand is going up. That feels good on my forehead. Demand is going up. Supply is allowing my mouth to talk is going down, okay? You know what fixes this right now, this gap, that gap? Well, the last 3 or 4 years, that was draining the COMEX, draining the LBMA, draining other secondary above ground supplies, okay? That's going to break. Now, we love our cup and handle chart. We talked about the gold one yesterday, so it's fair. I can pull this one up today. The original cup and handle, actually, this is a copy. I think I mailed the original to Jake. Tavi Costa brought up this. That's silver from 1980 to 2011, 50-50. The price, it made a cup, okay? And that's great. But what's most interesting is it's in the process of making a handle, all right? And what Tavi Costa said is that when it gets above, and he pointed out, right, how powerful the cup and handle formation is. Guys, when it gets above 50, according to Tavi, it's free run to 100. When we get gold above $2,100, right? There ain't nobody up there. There's nobody up there, right? We got a cup and handle in gold too. It's that same thing. I don't need to show it to you. When gold gets above $2,100, and now we've been talking about this. Now everybody's talking about it. I think they watched The Basement. They learned from you, the smartest people on the internet. When gold gets above 2,100, there's nobody up, there is hardly anybody, there's nobody who's sitting with gold that they paid $2,130 for. There's nobody up, there's nobody waiting for gold once gold gets above 2,100 for it to get to 2,200 to sell because it's never been that high. we are rocking, we are right there, and gold will dictate silver. Don't forget, oh man, I promised I wouldn't do it, but I just love it so much. Gold, remember, this is the gold price, the gold Tonka truck, right? Yeah. This is the silver price, the stopper. When gold, here's 2100, the top of the screen. When gold gets up there, right, and it's pulling on, that's the gold silver to gold ratio. Silver, what? Silver gets its wheels and goes flying up. And that's what Tavi's talking about. This is the cup and handle, right? And silver goes up to 100. Oh, Susie's mooing at me. That means I got to ring the cowbell. You know, there's a lot of special people in this channel, okay? There's been a lot of special people. I could name names, but I'm going to name one this morning. Jake from Jake's Custom Parts has been a great help, a great moderator, and he loves the cowbell. So today, the cowbell is dedicated to our old friend Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. See, it's even signed by Joe F. That's a basement dweller who showed up here to bring it to us. When gold gets above $2,100. Oh yeah, this is... I'm going to talk in my quiet, my soft voice. When gold gets above $2,100, Katie, bar the door. It's party time. It's game on. It's... Let's take the blindfold off the bear. Let's take the blindfold off the silver bear. We'll even take the blindfold off the platinum bear when gold gets above $2,100. And I want you to think about this. Gold has closed above $2,000 for the last 14 weeks. I don't want to jinx it. Okay, we don't want to jinx it. But gold has closed above $2,000 for the last 14 weeks. November was the first monthly close of gold over $2,000, I think forever, right? Gold had been trying. There was what's called a triple top, which is ultra rare. Gold 3 times tried to close above $2,000. Couldn't do it. Now it did it. Gold is... wouldn't you think, just think about this from a common sense perspective. All the people who own gold that were saying, you know, if gold gets to 2020, if gold gets to 2030, if gold gets to 2020, I'm going to sell, right? They've all sold. That's how a market works, right? I think it's pretty safe to say that we've exhausted anyone who wanted to sell their gold at $20 or $2,020. So now the path of least resistance, in theory, look guys, we could be here next week and I could be saying, can you believe gold is at $18.90 an ounce? It could happen, right? But the reality is anybody who's wanted to sell, that the path of least resistance really is to the positive. Think about silver. Anybody who wanted to sell their silver feels like it's been $22 an ounce since I was 22 years old. I'm 54. I mean, doesn't it feel like silver has been in a very narrow range for a very long time, right? So anybody who wanted to dump their silver, I'm done, right? And a lot of people have. There's horrible sentiment, which is also good for the silver price and gold price. I'm done. I'm out of here. They sold, okay? They sold. So again, we've got the opportunity for the path of least resistance to be to the upside. Now, what's also very interesting is this horrific sentiment. This is key to understand. This horrific sentiment, while it feels cruddy, like, oh, I don't want to buy any more silver. I'm done with silver. I'm fed up. It's blah, whatever. That's the foundation upon which big bull markets are built. Okay, that guy Francis Hunt, the guy who did the gold truck, silver, well, his idea, my trucks, his idea. He talks about that, right? We are at the ultimate. Peter Grandich and I have talked. We are at the ultimate low point right now, sentiment wise. You know, in particular with the mining stocks. I mean, it's like horrible. But let's not forget, okay, that our old friend Stanley Druckenmiller, besides him and Tavi Costa are the two smartest guys in the universe, besides you and besides me. Stanley Druckenmiller just started buying gold mining stocks. Okay, Stanley Druckenmiller. I think he worked with George Soros or something for a while. I mean, this guy's like considered to be one of the most brilliant financial minds in the world. What's he seen when he looks at all the crumbs? What's he seen when he looks at all the evidence? Right? He's seen something that's positive for the silver price and the gold price. What did we learn about what the BRICS countries have already said and what they've already done and what they're talking about, what they may do in the future? Doesn't it all paint a very favorable picture for the silver value and gold value? I think it does. Okay. Hey, I want to warn you, I'm going to try. There's going to be another live stream here in a little bit. It's going to be a test. So if you see another live stream pop up, if you want to hop on, that's great. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but we're going to try out a new platform for live streaming where I'll actually, believe it or not, you'll get a break from me. I'll be able to have guests join me on the live stream. So if you see that pop up in a little bit, I don't know how long it'll go, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. We just want to run a little test. Most important, thank you for being here right now. Look, man, you're a basement dweller when you're here, right? But you're a unique person. You guys have proven to me over the last 2 years the number of great people that are in this world. It's by far been the best part of running this channel, having Ron's Basement, is you, okay? Your input, your support has been invaluable, and I almost said I love you. I love you. Have a great day. That's okay to say that. I love you. Yeah, right. Okay, ring the bell. I'll see you soon. Thank you for being here.